Urban and peri-urban farming can be defined as the cultivation of small areas of land which are normally less than 2 hectares, in or near cities, towns or villages. The small farms, or market gardens as they are sometimes called, produce fresh vegetables, fruit and meat for the urban consumers. These benefit the community by increasing both the quantity and quality of the food available and contributing to food security. Urban farms have many short-term crops that grow and ripen within 3 months. The crops include tomatoes, lettuces, cucumbers, cabbages, pak choi, celery, sweet peppers and spinach. Sometimes 4 short-term crops are grown in a year, so fertilizers are used to maintain soil fertility. If the small farm is mixed, with some animals being kept as well, then farmyard manure is used together with artificial fertilizers. This type of farming includes the use of pots, troughs, grow boxes, hydroponics and sheds covered with polythene. Produce is harvested by the farmer, often with the help of his or her family, who gets it ready for market. Vegetables are cleaned, graded and made to look presentable to the consumer. If the farm is very small, the farmer will sell from a roadside stall. If the farm is bigger, the farmer will sell to a wholesaler, who buys the whole crop and transports it to a market where it is sold to retailers. Each time produce is sold, for example, from farmer to wholesaler and from wholesaler to retailer, the price increases. Urban farms are important to the economy of the Caribbean region. Several Caribbean governments have set up marketing boards to purchase crops from urban farmers and retail the crops to the public. The benefits of urban farms are there is a reduction in transport costs, as food is grown locally. Secondly, fewer pesticides, which makes food production more sustainable. Thirdly, no food preservatives as food does not have to travel long distances, and finally employment for local people. Organic farming often restricts the use of herbicides and pesticides to increase biodiversity. Biodiversity can be defined as the variety of living organisms in a specific habitat or area. Different weed species growing in an organic crop attract insects, which then feed on plant pests. In turn, these insects provide food for birds and mammals. Farmyard manure is used to add organic matter to the soil, which encourages soil microorganisms to break down the manure and increase the soil fertility. Overall, there are 30% more species found on organic farms than on conventional farms. Organically grown produce is usually more expensive than other produce because of the increased time and labor required to grow crops organically. However, people who care about the environment and who are concerned about pesticide residues in food are often prepared to pay a higher price for produce. The first method that we are looking at is crop rotation. Crop rotation involves different crops being grown. It is planned so that different crops are grown on different plots each year. One benefit of crop rotation is that it helps to break down the life cycle of pests and pathogens. The second benefit is that when we include legumes, it helps to increase the nitrogen in the soil. The final benefit of crop rotation to soil is that the soil's texture is increased because different crops need different methods of cultivation. The second method is green manuring. This is the plowing in of a cover crop. The crop is left on the surface of the soil and the next crop is then planted through it by direct drilling. The benefits of green manuring are that it adds organic matter to the soil. Green manuring also improves the fertility of the soil by adding soil nitrogen. Finally, green manuring helps by providing coverage which prevent runoff during wet season. The third method is intercropping. This is when 2 or more crops are grown at the same time on the same land. Intercropping reduces the competition between weeds and crops. Secondly, the cover crop reduces runoff in the wet season. Intercropping also saves on space when more than one crop is grown on the same land.